7 people aged 13 to 24 are diagnosed with cancer every day.
On the 11th of June 2020, I was one of the 7.
4 days later, on the 15th of June 2020, I too was one of the 7.
And that brings with it a whole host of challenges.
These are the stories of what happens afterwards.
This is Afterthoughts.
The teenage years. Hello and welcome to another episode of Afterthoughts, the teenage years, hosted by myself, Aiden, Shaumya.
Hi everyone.
And our producer today is Toby.
That is me. I'm in the producing. Would you say it's like a hot seat? Would you describe
just
it as
a seat?
It's just
a seat, yeah.
It can be a throne if you want.
That's right. Yeah, it's grand seat, but it's the producer hot seat.
So today we had Amber on, our first ever Irish storyteller, and we need to get more of them on, 100%.
She had so much energy, and what time, Shaumya, did she say that she got in?
I think it was like 5 a.m, so she's running on about 4 hours sleep, which you can only respect.
Yeah, and that's actually more sleep than Aiden.
Yeah, I'm running on a good 2 hours sleep, but unlike her, I was not out last night. I was doing some flashcards because I'm a nerd. And then also I should give a disclaimer to the listeners that it is the second episode this season where my microphone is not working. So apologies for that.
Just going to have to follow the whole series to find out whether it ever starts working.
Yeah, maybe that's our running gag. We found our running gag. My microphone not working.
That's what will get the listeners back in.
Exactly. Maybe they like the crispness of MacBook audio rather than professional microphone audio.
Yeah, they can let us know on the socials. Do you prefer Aiden's mic or Shaumya's mic?
Nice.
A little vote.
And the really interesting thing about Amber was that she was only the 3rd person in Northern Ireland to have had the type of cancer she had. And what type of cancer was that, Toby?
I really struggle to pronounce it. It is a neuroendocrine.
You know what? We'll give it to you. It's neuroendocrine.
He's tried.
Neuroendocrine.
You got all the right letters.
We'll just have to have more of them on so you can get a bit more practice. Cool. So should we move into the episode and listen to some of the great stories Amber told us?
Go for it. So hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're listening to this. And welcome to another episode of Afterthoughts, the teenage years. And today we have an amazing guest, Amber. Amber, would you like to say hello to the audience?
Hi there, how are you?
So, Amber, how are you doing today?
I am doing so good. I'm running on like 4 hours sleep, but we're getting to it. We're going through it.
Yeah, I am also running on very few hours sleep, so hopefully we can just sort of get through this and then get back to bed. Where are you tuning in from today, Amber?
Yeah, why are you two got such little sleep? Why, like,
sleepers for the week?
I feel like Amber went out last night.
Yeah. From work, we weren't planning, so I was working yesterday and we weren't planning on going out, and then someone turned around and went, will we go for one? And I was like, you're twisting my arm, let's do it. And then it ended up more than one.
So what time did you get in?
It was about 5. Yeah, 5 I got in there this morning.
Oh my goodness.
And we're recording in the morning. You got the 9 o'clock slot. Fantastic.
Gosh, my reason's a lot less cool. I was doing flashcards. I feel like such a nerd now.
That's because you are.
Yes.
But Amber, where are you tuning in from?
So I am in from Ballymena in Northern Ireland.
I'm very excited for the fact that this is the first storyteller we've had on from Northern Ireland. Did you know that?
Oh, yes, it is.
You are the first storyteller from Northern Ireland that we've had in our 6th series.
That's ridiculous. It's taking you this long to get someone from Northern Ireland in. That is ridiculous.
We're just waiting for the right person.
That's right, Shaumya.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe Toby was scared of the accent. I don't know.
That's well, Shaumya was saying just before, like, how much she loves the accent. Isn't that right, Shaumya?
I was like, I don't want to make a thing of it, but I do love an Irish accent, and I'm sure you get that all the time. But I'm at uni up in Glasgow, and like all the accents up there just throw me. But can get behind an Irish one.
And I think Irish accents are lovely, but Northern, like my accent, I personally don't love it. But like, you know, like someone from Dublin or Cork or Galway, like down south, I love their accents. Their accents are class, but I really don't like ours.
Amber, are you ready for the quickfire questions?
Yes, absolutely.
As ready as you can be, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first question is, what pronouns do you use, Amber?
She, her.
Second question, who do people say you look like, Amber?
I get a lot of Daenerys from Game of Thrones, and I actually used to do Elsa at children's Christmas parties at parties, so I would get, between the two of them, I get Daenerys and I get Elsa.
Yeah, I mean, again, for our listeners, the strong blonde hair is probably the selling point for that.
Yeah, I'll back that. Next up, what's the last song you listened to?
Brazil by Declan McKenna.
Great song.
Yeah, love it.
Very good song. And what is your favourite pasta shape?
Oh, angel hair.
Ooh, now I didn't ask this before, and I know it's not quickfire, but why?
Right, so I'm a wee bit funny, so I can only eat certain types of pasta with certain things. So like you can only have like spaghetti with tomato sauce, and like I can only have pesto pasta with like the bow ties. And I like angel hair, and I think I obviously really identify with it because of my hair, and it reminds me of me, and I love me.
That's a great answer.
That's the energy we're looking for today, Amber. Right, okay, this isn't as quick fire as we want it to be, Aiden. Back to it.
Right, go.
Right, so what's one thing you can't leave the house without? We're assuming you've got your phone, your wallet, and your keys.
Oh, my Vaseline.
Oh, do you have a specific, I don't know what to call it, but flavour Vaseline that you go for?
So I just go for the regular. So like I've literally gone through about 5 of these. This one's completely empty. It has to be in the squeezy tube. I am sick of putting my finger in the little tin. It winds me up. It really grinds my gears. I hate it. And I don't like food that you like wind up. I hate it. So I found these recently and I'm in love. I've used about 10.
Right, moving on. What is something you would love to learn?
Sign language.
Ooh.
Okay, next up, controversial question. You've got your scone. Are you putting the jam on first or the cream on first?
Oh, my sister's gonna punch me for this because this is like she loves scones so much. I normally put the cream first, but I'll tell you for why. Because once you put your knife in the jam, it gets dirty.
Are you hearing us, Aiden?
I don't understand this. You know, once you put your knife in the jam, are you not having separate knife for the jam and cream?
That's a waste.
No.
Someone doesn't do their own washing up.
If you're gonna do it, you got to do it. If you're gonna do it, you got to do it properly. So that's all I'm saying. But I'm gonna lose this one this season, aren't I?
You absolutely are. Yeah.
Right, and the final quickfire question: if you could sum up your diagnosis in 1 or 2 lines, how would you do it?
So I was a stage 2 neuroendocrine tumour in my appendix and my bowels.
This section, we explore beyond a diagnosis and look at what happens after that initial story we're also used to telling.
So obviously, whenever I was first told about my diagnosis, I met surgeon Barry McAree, and then I met Carrie, which was the teenage cancer nurse, and it was complete night and day. Like Barry McAree, he was almost very like a robot. Like as I say, I must have met him upwards about 10 times, and every single time he went in for a big handshake, and he was like, "Hello there, I'm Barry McAree." Sometimes I would meet him with that energy, and I'd go, "Hello there, I'm Amber Orr," and it would throw him off a bit. But like Carrie, it was so like night and day. Like she was such like a calming and like soothing presence. Like I always felt like so calm every time she was around, and like I never stressed whenever I spoke to her because she always had the answer for everything. So as I say, Barry was on the surgeon, he was on the medical side and was just like throwing all this jargon at me. And I honestly, just in one ear out the other, honestly couldn't really remember anything that he said to me. And then after that happened, Carrie took me into a separate room and was like, listen, he's just thrown everything at you. I understand that you're not going to even hear a word that he's saying right now. So what I'm going to do is, and this was the first thing and the only thing I've ever remembered that she said was, do not be Googling anything. She handed me a big massive binder, which I actually still have in the corner of my room to this day. Big massive binder of everything about my cancer, everything that I need to know, treatments, etc., stuff like that. And she went, if it's not in this binder, you text me or you call me, but do not be Googling anything about this because you will stress yourself out and half the information's wrong. So I texted her a lot and she's probably sick of me and she probably sees my name on her phone and rolls her eyes every time she sees me. So whenever I come out of surgery and stuff, like I was obviously a lot more scared and like, you know, like the tiniest thing was setting me off. So I was texting her being like, Carrie, like I have a headache, like what do I do? And she was like, do what you've always done, take a tablet, you're fine. But even then, like she's always someone that I know that I've been able to depend on, and like she set up therapy sessions for me before, and genuinely she's just been like there to listen to me, which I can't thank her enough for that. And I've said this numerous times and I'll say it again, I genuinely don't think I could have gone through my diagnosis as well had I not had Carrie with me.
The next section is those around us, where we look at the impact that the cancer has had on the people around us.
So it was, I had like a holistic appointment with Carrie at the time, and she just kind of offhandedly mentioned it and was like, here, there was a girl been through the exact same thing as you, like the one other girl in Northern Ireland that had the same type of cancer I had. Do you want to meet her? And I was kind of like, does she want to meet me? Like, like, don't make me sound desperate, but like, yeah. And so anyway, so we just ended up like meeting up for coffee, like texting a few times and met up for coffee. And like we're complete night and day. Like I am very like Barbie girl pop and she is. And do you know what? She knows that I say this, so I'm all right to say it. She is the biggest emo goth looking girl you've ever seen in your life. And looking at us two, you genuinely wouldn't think that we would be friendly with each other. But it was Carrie set the meeting up and we met each other. And you know, whenever you first meet someone and you're like, oh, like I am not a hugger. I don't like people touching me. It's a thing. I don't like it. And she's the exact same. But you should have seen the first time we met. We did the most like awkward hug. It was so bad. And for like the first like 5-10 minutes, you know, doing the whole like, how are you? I am good. Also, how are you? Yes. So we had the same cancer. Like, how was cancer for you? Yeah, cancer was bad. Well, how was cancer for you? And then finally, like we were like, right, this is weird. Can we just stop this? And ever since then, like we have been very, very close, and I'm very, very lucky to have her in my life. But I would never tell her that to her face. Again, because obviously, like I'm so fortunate to have like a close circle of friends and family who are supportive, but it's nice to have someone that has been through the exact same thing that I have been through, and you can chat about it. But at the same time, like our friendship isn't just cancer. Like we don't let cancer hold the spotlight.
In this section, we explore some of the effects of having cancer that people who haven't experienced it might not see. Its invisible impacts.
I heard someone else obviously describe it this way, and I think it's perfect, and it's the way I've been like describing it, is obviously describing your life as BC and AC, before cancer and after cancer. And I definitely think the way that I was before cancer is completely different to the way I am now after cancer. But so again, I didn't really say much to anyone. I did kind of keep my cards close to my chest whenever I was going through my diagnosis. Obviously, the people that need it to know. But like right now, like I do not deprive anyone of information about myself. I'm so much more open about it. Like I actually because of the type of cancer I have like a little green cancer card. So like say if a nightclub, say I go to a nightclub or something and it shuts and say I'm like, oh my gosh, no, I still really need to go to the toilet or I really need to pee. I can show them this card and they physically have to let me back in the building. And like sometimes I will just be like, I'm going to pull the cancer card on you right now. Or like someone will be saying something, I'm like, cancer card, I want to speak about me now. Or like, I don't want to talk about this. So I'm a lot more open about it and I make a lot more jokes. Like even my friends and stuff are like, oh my God, are you still talking about this? And I'm like, yes, I am talking about this and I will continue to talk about this because guess what? I had cancer and you didn't.
Have you ever used the cancer card to get tips at work?
Yes. Yeah, I have. Do you know what? This sounds so bad. It was like 5 minutes after I walked out of the hospital of being diagnosed. I used it. No, it's very small. It was very small. My mum, we walked out, and obviously my mum trying to be normal, mum was like, what do you want for dinner tonight? And I was like, I'd really love a takeaway tonight. But like, if not, it's fine. Like, I've just been diagnosed with cancer. And she was like, oh my God, no, of course we'll get a takeaway tonight. And I had my favourite takeaway.
Life is tricky as it is as a teenager, and it's even trickier as a teenager with cancer. This next section is teenage kicks.
I mean, I was 19 when I was diagnosed. So, I mean, really all of it's something a normal 19-year-old wouldn't go. To be fair, I had a few issues before this, and I'd been to the doctors and stuff numerous times, and they just kept batting me away and was like, obviously, looking at a 19-year-old girl, you wouldn't turn around and go, oh, she has this rare type of cancer. Like, I completely get that, but like the silliest things. So like I still am not what an ordinary 24-year-old would probably be. Like I still have after effects and things like that, but even like being 19 years of age and being bedbound for like 2 or 3 weeks, or like not being able to eat certain things, or like having to fast because you've a colonoscopy the next day, or like not being able to go out drinking because you're not allowed to drink because of the medication and all your normal friends are going out. I mean, this sounds awful, but my friends and me like to drink quite a lot, and that's kind of like it was just really missing out every week. Like it was, you know, they'd be like, oh, here, we're all going up to Belfast to do like bottomless brunch, and I'm like, oh, sorry, I can't even keep water down, never mind 5 mimosas. Obviously because what I had was bile, like they took out half of my bile, so I obviously don't digest things the same way someone else. Like it's left me with IBS and like just like really, really bad stomach problems. So like before I eat, for example, I have to take a tablet. It could be plain pasta that I'm eating, and if I don't take this tablet, it feels like someone is like punching me in the stomach. Or if you're someone who menstruates, it feels like probably the worst period that you've ever had in your life. Like that's what I feel like constantly unless I take these tablets. So like I went and visited, so my sister lives in Edinburgh, and I forgot to take my tablets with me. And like for the entire weekend, like there was so much, like in Edinburgh, there's so much nice places to eat. That's literally all it is. And I was still having to pick to like the most plainest, like just plain things, because if I had anything else, like I would have been in agony. And there's certain times where I've been like, oh, I've forgotten to take my tablets now, so like I am just going to have to suffer and be in pain for a couple of hours. There was a night there during the week that I was bringing a takeaway to my friend's house, and literally the text message I got, I was like, right, I'm leaving now to go and pick this up. Like I'll see you in like 5-10 minutes or whatever. And she was like, yeah, that's fine. Make sure you take your tablet, because I know that you haven't taken, because I've had like a sieve. I'm so bad. So literally everyone around me is like, have you taken your tablet yet? And I'm like, no. Like I carry them around. I have about one in my bedroom, one downstairs, one in my handbag, one in my car. And I have, because literally all the time I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot to take my tablet. And people are like, can you please take your tablet? You're stressing me out.
With our newest section, we explore some of the ways that cancer can shape our identity, its evolutions.
So as I say, obviously after cancer, like my thought process and like how I looked at the world was completely different. Like the 9 to 5 job that I was in, I was like, well, I guess I'm here for life now. And then after my diagnosis happened, I was like, no, like I actually hate this place and I hate every single one of you in this. Like I want to leave. So I am, like, as I say, going from like a government office job to being a bartender and a food and beverage assistant, like again, completely different. But it's been able to let me do night school. So there, I'm actually just about finished. I'm coming up to my end of year exams of doing access diploma in social sciences, and I am actually hoping to go on and be a social worker with the NHS and hopefully cancer patients. Which really just like, it was after I got to kind of thinking after my diagnosis and I realised like the social workers and the people around me that helped me, I was like, I want to do that. Like, I want to be able to impact someone the way that they have been impacted me. Like as I say, everyone's been really, really supportive about it. I have said to a few ones, obviously in work and like obviously my friends and stuff, and they've all said to me, they were like, no, like I think you would be a great, like I genuinely do think that is something that you are made for. Like my sister's a nurse, and like, you know, whenever you just meet someone and you're like, yes, like that is exactly what you should be doing with your life. That is what people have said to me. And I feel like as well, because obviously you've been through it before, you may not have had the same type of cancer, or you may not have had like the exact same experience, but it's similar. And you kind of like, you're like, listen, I understand what it is that you're going through. And I feel like that would help me a lot. And I know personally, if I had a social worker that was the same and was like, listen, I understand what you've gone through, I have been in your position before, I definitely think it would put me at ease. It's completely changed my mindset and being like, no, like if I can help even just one person the way that I have been helped by the team, then I know I'm doing something right with my life and I'm actually making a difference. That sounds really cringy, doesn't it? I don't mean it like that. Don't judge me.
Last up on Afterthoughts, we're going to finish on a lighter note with our Don't Laugh section.
At the time, this was probably one of the most like traumatic things that ever happened to me, but it's also so funny now. And it's like, I tell everyone and it makes me laugh so hard. So obviously just had bowel surgery, but still sitting in the hospital and was like bed bound at this point. Like I hadn't really left my bed or anything. And then my brother came to visit me and he was like, right, get out, we're going for a walk. And I was like, okay, that's fine. So we went out, we walked, and there was like a bus shelter like just outside the hospital. So we went and we sat down for a minute and we were like chatting, whatever. And I actually can't believe I'm saying this. And I thought I needed to fart, right? But obviously I had just had bowel surgery, so you really couldn't trust it. And my brother then started like sniffing the air and he was like, oh my God, like, what is that horrible smell? Like, oh my God, it smells awful. And I turned to him in tears, crying, and I'm because I've just shit myself.
Oh my gosh.
Am I? Absolutely. But also I had bowel cancer, so like leave me alone about it. So I had to like waddle back in, clean myself up, and like I never spoke to anyone for like 6 months about that. But now, like, it's an icebreaker. Like, I tell everyone about it because it's really funny.
Is that one of your, like, fun facts about yourself when you meet people?
You know, like, when they do the icebreakers in school, and I'm like, hi there, my name's Amber, I'm 24, and I shit myself in hospital before. I have to say, so the relationship me and my brother have, he is about 6 or 7 years older than me. So, like, it was only really, like, in the past maybe 5 or so years that we actually, like, started being friendly with each other. And normally he would have absolutely, like, pardon the pun, ripped the arse out of me for that. But he was just like so obviously because I was inconsolable at the time. Like I was crying, I was in hysterics because I was so embarrassed and ashamed. And he was like, oh, like I'm so sorry. Oh, what do we do? And like then he like took me back into the hospital and stuff, and like he said to my mum and my aunt who had arrived at that point and was like please don't laugh at her, like this has happened, blah blah blah. which, oh my gosh, do you know what, right? So my mum refused to throw the pyjama bottoms away that I had done it, and she was like, I can clean this. So my sister, one of my sisters lives in Scotland, the one that I would visit, and whenever she came home to visit, I made her wear the trousers that I had shed, and I didn't tell her.
Still to this day, does she wear the shitty?
I don't think, yeah, I don't think, like, they were cleaned, but yeah, I don't, I mean, she'll probably find out now because she's gonna watch this.
Oh my god!
Sorry, Tam.
All the secrets being unleashed here. I think that's left us all speechless sufficiently.
I said it was TMI. Listen, I said it was TMI. I will never deprive anyone of information about myself.
How do you? I mean, I suppose it's leaving the podcast on a high, I guess, on a lighter note at least. But yeah, that is a wrap for this episode of Afterthoughts. Thank you very, very much, Amber, for coming on and sharing your stories with us. It's
been absolutely lovely having you, and they've just been non-stop laughs, so thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
So that was Amber. What an episode. I don't think I've stopped laughing this episode. Even in the sections that weren't, don't laugh. What about you, Shaumya?
Exactly the same, and I feel like we had a whole series worth of sass in there. I was absolutely there for it, loved it.
I was really taken it. Sorry, can I just ask you two, cancer card, right? There was a whole section on cancer card and things. Have you two ever used the cancer card? Shaumya, you're shaking your head. You've never used the cancer card before.
I can't lie. I feel like I don't want to say I've been a good egg because I kind of respect people that play the cancer card, but I generally avoid it.
Oh yeah, no,
I
use
it. Police.
I use it far too regularly.
I feel like I use it with my friends, and I maybe make jokes where I shouldn't, and they're like, "You can only laugh at that because cancer," and I'm like, "Yeah, well, I'm gonna laugh because cancer."
Yeah, even you do not like Amber got a physical card that you take and throw in people's faces.
We had the yellow ones when we were on treatment.
Oh yeah, and I've got like the red one that's like I can't have certain kinds of bloods because of graft versus.
Oh, you can't be radiated blood, yeah.
But no, I would love a card that got me into venues just to pee. I could really do with one of those actually.
I used the cancer card once. To a grand effect where I won a competition because I played the cancer card, which meant that I could go to the Arctic tundra and do a 300-kilometer trek by dog sled. So if you're gonna do it, go high.
Go big
high,
or go home.
Hard. What's
go high or go big or go home.
Go big or go home.
Go high or go home.
Same thing.
Well, you heard it here first, guys. Toby manipulates people into winning that competition. So think of that what you will.
Aiden, what are your afterthoughts on this episode of Afterthoughts?
My afterthoughts on this episode of Afterthoughts is that there's sometimes, there's often a silver lining to having cancer. It can't be quite hard to see when you're sort of in the midst of it, but there always is, with Amber realising that the social worker was her calling. And also, I'm no longer afraid of talking to Irish people because I can now understand them. That's really fun for me. What are your afterthoughts on Afterthoughts?
My afterthoughts in this episode are probably mainly around making cancer something that channels where you go in the future. And I just thought how Amber talked about her career and that shift in it was super inspiring. And it's just really lovely to hear that she has such a great community supporting that as well. I think she'll be absolutely fantastic at what she pursues. And yeah, I just thought that was really cool. And as you say, knowing that cancer can be tough, but it can bring really beautiful, flowery blossoms to it as well is great.
So that is all from us today. Thank you very much for tuning in. And this is Aiden saying adios.
This is Shaumya saying au revoir.
And we hope to see you next time.
Bye.
If today's episode of Afterthoughts has brought up any thoughts or feelings that you'd like to speak to someone about, we really recommend catching up with a friend or dropping them a message. There are a whole host of charities out there if you've experienced cancer and want to get some extra support.
Thanks so much to Teenage Cancer Trust for supporting AfterThoughts, the teenage years. Supporting teens and young adults diagnosed with cancer in the UK, the work they do is incredible. Find out more at teenagecancertrust.org and check out their socials. This series has been hosted by Aiden Grant and Shaumya Kularajan and produced by Alice May Purkis and Toby Peach from Beyond Arts. Sound design is by Dinah Mullen and Kieran Lucas.